All right, so let's check if you guys understood what the actual zero conditional is. Here are sentences. Before I give you the answer, try to think on your own. So I'll give you time for you to think. You will have to decide whether this is the conditional zero or not, right? So regardless of other conditionals, just see if you can identify what I just said. So keep in mind, you need to have an if clause and the results section, which is the main clause. So there is always a condition and then its results, and they both clauses need to be in the simple present or the imperative. If there is simple past or any other tense, that means something is wrong, right? Which means it's not the zero conditional. So let's start with the first sentence here. When, and keep in mind, when is also an option for if. So when you press the button, the doorbell rings. Do you guys think this is the conditional? Yes or no? I'll give you 5 seconds to think. So let me make it closer. Okay, so when you press the button, the doorbell rings. Okay. All right, time's up. And the right answer is, that's the zero conditional. So when you press the button, the doorbell rings. Because it's a fact, and they're using the when clause or if clause, and then there is the result section, the main clause. And of course, the tense we're using here is the simple present. Now let's move to the next sentence. I will give you a lift if the weather is bad. So a lift means a ride. So I will give you a lift if the weather is bad. Do you think this is the zero conditional? I'll give you time to think. Well, of course not, because we have will, right? This is the future. This is the future, so absolutely you can't. So here we have will, we have the other conditions are met, but since I have will here, that cannot be the zero conditional. Now let's move on to the next one. When you go to the park, take your ball. When you go to the park, take your ball. Now, this is not simple present, but it is the imperative. Do you guys think this is the zero conditional? Yes or no? I would say that's the zero conditional. We'll check the answers later on, okay? Now let's move on to the next one. So, if I had woken up earlier, I could have taken the bus. If I had woken up earlier, I could have taken the bus. Well, what do you guys think? Is this the zero conditional? Of course the answer is no, because we had a tense. It's not simple present. This is something else. This is past perfect, so of course not. So no way, Jose. All right, let's move on. Now, here is another sentence. When fish don't eat enough, they die. When fish don't eat enough, they die. Do you think this is the zero conditional? Yes, it is. It's a fact. When they don't eat enough, they die. Let's move on. When he buys chocolate, he buys me some too. When he buys chocolate, he buys me some too. What do you guys think? Is this the zero conditional? or not. So we have the when clause or if. It's simple present. I'll let you think. Yes, it is. Of course it is. It meets all the criteria needed. So this is the zero conditional. And then the last one, if you write to me, I will reply. If you write to me, I will reply. So what do you guys think? Is this the zero conditional? Yes or no? And of course it is not, because here we have will, right? So, no. Let's check our answers. And we got them all right. Let me check here. Let's go all the way up. All right. So as you can see, and that would cover the zero conditional. See you with conditional 1, the first conditional, in our next lesson.